The following podcast is brought to you exclusively by the Rad Rob Radio Network.
Welcome to Straight Up 5 with Johnny Petraglia Jr. This podcast is hard-hitting, in-depth, cutting-edge look into the sport of bowling. You will get unfettered access into the mind of one of the most gifted bowlers of this generation, who just happens to be the son of a living legend. So, without further ado, let's introduce you to the host of the show, Rad Rob Francois, Dr. Ocho, and the incomparable Johnny Petraglia Jr.
Hey guys, welcome back to Straight Up 5 with Johnny Petraglia Jr. We are having technical problems because I think Facebook changed something. For whatever reason, we took a week off when I went on vacation, and I created a live event when I got back, like we normally do, and Facebook somehow made it private and invite only on Johnny's page. So hopefully you guys are watching, those that were invited on Johnny Petraglia Jr.'s Facebook page. We're also live on YouTube. Straight Up 5 with Johnny Petraglia Jr. I just shared that YouTube link to Johnny's profile. So hopefully people will catch on. But let's get to business, if you will. Joining me is my co-host. He is the resident doctor of... He's already flexing. The resident doctor of Straight Up 5, the shiniest gold mask, and he's a proud papa. And he's got the guns. Look at the guns. Look at that. Look at that peak. Look at that peak.
They call me James Vanderpeak.
Dr. Ocho, what's going on, buddy?
I'm with Rob. I have a splinter, so I need a month off, Francois. And we weren't here. It was 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks that we missed because remember you had that splinter that you thought was going to get infected.
Yeah.
Even with peroxide that I told you to use, you still had to cancel. And I think
That's
your
fair.
wife kissed it better,
fair.
right?
That's fair. Yeah, no, you're right.
So that's what's going on here. And
Good.
I'm still messing with my camera because I just love looking at myself, which is, I don't blame me.
You're messing with your camera. You got your little wind filter gimmick down there. You got a new microphone finally because you were screaming into your.
This is my old microphone, actually.
Screaming into your camera. Oh, really? You got it to work?
No. My microphone that broke was actually newer. This one was prior to that when I was just goofing.
That's fair. I had no idea.
Joining us. Anything.
Well, I thought we were friends, but I guess we're not. Okay. Joining us is the third man of the team, but he is the number one guy. His name is on the marquee. The son of PBA Hall of Famer Johnny Petraglia Sr. It is the good-looking, quite handsome, got bigger muscles than Ocho. Found out the other day that we know how he got those muscles, but we'll save that for other show, RTW Rewind. Really, dude? That gets me hot when you do that.
I'm just stretching, man. Just bring him in, would you? We got no one watching. We got no Facebook link because you screwed something up.
Where are your traps, by the way? Your traps are gone.
They're catching mice, all right?
All right, that's fair. Johnny Petraglia Jr., what's up, buddy?
Another day, gentlemen. Glad to be here as always. It's nice being back after a week off to talk about Rob's, 2 weeks off. Talk about Rob's newest excursion in the world of bowling video games, and got another couple league sessions to go over. And
nice.
Other than that, Och, I'm surprised that your peaks are still growing now, even after being a daddy.
And
Usually
without exercising. Well, I'm using,
way.
That's why I'm feeding her way more than normal because I can do Gabriella curls now.
Very good. Very good.
Hey, Rob, did that splinter affect your ability to play bowling games on the internet? Or were you okay?
It did not. And I'm glad you mentioned that.
Oh, you're a hero then.
Ocho, because
big time.
Friend of the show, Derek Mashad, had posted on Facebook a few weeks ago that he started playing this new game, PBA Pro Bowling 2023. And I had seen the previous version of the game and I wasn't impressed. So I checked out the latest update and it's legit. It's got, 40 different pros or whatever. It's got like 300 different balls that you can buy. But the only part I hate about it is you got to level up to get to certain tiers of balls. Like the purple hammer is on tier 5. You got to be like level 80 and I'm at level 40. I'm like, it's just a fucking purple hammer. Why can't I just go out and buy it? But other than that, like the the graphics, the presentation, the commentary from Rod Stone and Randy Peterson is really, really good. It has all the tournaments, the actual PBA schedule from last year for 2020 or this year, 2022. And yeah, I'm going to play a little bit of my career mode. So those of you listening on the audio version, sorry, go check it out on YouTube, PBA Pro Bowling 2023, or check out my YouTube channel, Rad Rob Gaming. You can watch me play there. For those of you watching here live, hopefully on Facebook and not just YouTube, I'm going to include a clip right now. This is me taking on Pete Weber Jr. Pete Weber Jr. Pete Weber
Jr.
Okay. I finally get to play PDW. Haven't bowled him yet. Nice.
I must say they did a heck of a job with the graphics on this game.
Here in Tampa,
yeah, it looks really, really cool.
The World Series of Bowling continues. Today, we're bringing you match play for the Chameleon Championship. 8 players have qualified.
I already see one thing that bothers me.
What's
the
that?
rangefinders aren't close enough to the pins. The dartboards.
Rob Stone joined by the Hall of Famer Randy Peterson. We're ready to get going now with match 1.
Using a quantum bias.
Quantum bias. Meanwhile, the bias pearl.
Sure, whatever that means.
Can't believe they actually have that in this game if this is 2023, because that ball's been discontinued for a year. Yeah!
That was high. That was way high.
It was a little bit high. It was.
And that's you, Rob?
That's me. Yeah.
That's very consistent.
You can't change the character at all. It's like one thing you can't customize your character or change his name. So
oh really?
Yeah, it says Rad Rob Gaming on it. I couldn't change it. All right, but
first Pete Weber Jr.
There he is. PDW. It's a badass.
Where's his glove? Oh, week 10. Oh my gosh.
Missed the target.
Hey, buddy. Stone 10.
Does he have his glove on?
He does not. They're banned in PBA live events.
No. He's a golf glove.
Picked it up.
Usually wears a golf
Oh,
glove.
you're right.
And they're not showing him with his hand out on the inside of the ball. See? Right? JP?
It looks... That doesn't look like
Huge break.
like Pete's game to me.
Brian for the
exactly.
double.
But it's certainly close-ish.
His hand comes way to the inside of that ball on the
open
top
and
of his
close
back. Another high
that ball
shot.
screams.
Opens with the double.
This is a great show.
So,
I mean, it can obviously be...
Pause it.
Yeah, sure. It obviously can be improved upon, but I mean, I like
have
it.
a
Other than
question.
like the see-through, punch-out guy from like the arcade. Like you can't see the guy approach.
Have you bowled on several different patterns so far?
Yeah, Chameleon, Scorpion, what's the third World Series bowling event?
Shark, maybe?
Cheetah.
It's also got the John Johnson. It's got whatever pattern for the actual legit event. They're all in there.
So how many bowling balls do you start out with when you create a character?
You start out in tier 1, and they have like certain points that you can cash in for balls. So I think I started out with 2. I had you're gonna put me on the spot here. The Brunswick Hero, I believe it was. And I had, was it a Gold Rhino Pro? I don't remember. But now I have a Mastermind, the Quantum Bias.
These are all older bowling balls. These of the ones you name, the newest one of those 4 is the Hero. I mean,
really?
Yeah, that's strange to me.
That sounds like my bowling bag, basically.
Yeah, it's exactly what it sounds like.
Well, you know what I can do? Hold on. Let me attempt to do this.
Is anybody on Facebook? Do we know? Because we're not getting a chat, obviously.
There's no chat because it's private. I don't know if anybody can chat.
Well, it's private, then still shouldn't the host be able to see the show?
You would think, but yeah, there's no comments at all. And I apologize for this, guys. We're going to have to figure it out for this week. We got 7
We'll probably be off for 3 or 4 weeks. Rob's going to stub his toe, and then he'll be able to figure it out, I guess.
Ruthless.
Interesting.
Well, we're doing nothing here. I got people all around the world watching, and we're just staring at Rob's head on his.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. No, I got a message from somebody that's not happy with Johnny right now. Anyway, I want to share my screen because I'll try to show you the actual equipment that's in the game, Johnny. You can tell us what's old and what's not, because I don't know. I'm not in the bowling world right now, so I don't know what's old and what's new. So let me attempt to fire this up, and let me get this off. There we are. While that game fires up,
I'll let you know that there are no comments on YouTube, by the way, just to give you a heads up.
Gotcha. Let's see. Ocho, tell us how your league's going while this is loading up. So we're
I had to take off league last week because the pins were they had to heal. I threw so many strikes the week prior and so violently that they were like, we have to cancel league because there's so many broken pins. They had to get new ones. Some of them, even amazingly, I just cut the heads off on some of them. So that Breonna Taylor, was that her name? Who's the bowler girl that we had on here? Breonna Clemmer. Who's Taylor? Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, I asked her for advice about when you have two bowling balls on your arm, and she didn't give me any. So I couldn't. Yeah. I would have been able to go bowling last week, but I couldn't. So I'll go tomorrow. They should have healed up. They're going to have bandages on them and whatnot. That'd be kind of funny.
So you felt like giving them a week's rest?
I had to. Well, it's pressed wood, right? Like, doesn't it have to expand or something like that?
Yeah. I mean, after you're putting a beating on them like that, absolutely.
Sure.
Let's see. All right.
We're a great show today. JP,
I've only worked.
How was your league last night?
Last night was bittersweet for me. I was like all 8 versions of myself all together last night, which makes for a really, really big mess. But it was also my first week that I wasn't the anchor, because after 4 weeks of bowling, you get placed by average. Oh. So I'm 230, and I was in the 2-hole on my team last night, and I bowled 160, 225, and 2-0 for 587, and actually won 2 matches and wood. So I still won 3 out of 4, averaging 190-ish.
Can you guys
You're the second man with a 230 average?
Yes, I am. My leadoff after 4 weeks is 20. I was 30. My third guy is 35, and my anchor was 47 going into last night.
Wow. All right, John. Let me go on this. Okay. Tier 1. So we start off with a ball, which you don't need. What I like about is
Rob, your mic's going in and out.
Your mic is going in and out, sir.
Your sounds like you're a robot. Is that the screen? I mean, this is a great show, guys. Oh, there's a comment on YouTube. Should I read it?
Sure.
Ted Riegling says, Dr. Ocho is the best, comma. I recently purchased Dark Web, Damn Good, Verge, Pearl, and Scheme, thinking about adding a few more. Any suggestions?
He got a Scheme. What were the other 2?
Dark Web, Damn Good, Verge, Pearl.
Okay. So that's a symmetrical pearl. The Conspiracy Scheme is an asymmetrical solid, but it doesn't hook a ton. And then he said he has a Dark Web, which is a symmetrical solid. So if I was going to recommend something else for that viewer, I would say to look for something either hybrid or pearlized asymmetric. Look for something like well, you see, now that I'm looking at this Motive Venom Panic in this house ball, I got to think of what's an asym pearl that would be good. A Black Widow Ghost from Hammer would be a very good complement to those 3 balls.
This was the first ball that I threw a tournament with, the Venom Panic. Trying to get to it, and I keep forgetting to it.
Rob, I think when you move your mouse, your mic skips. So move your mouse and then speak. I think. I'm not sure, but you definitely sound like...
Can you hear me now?
You sound like a bag of ass right now.
Yeah, a lot of ass.
I don't know what it is. Maybe... Sorry. That's there.
Hey, at least I got to see the house ball.
Yeah, I'm
kidding. This is a great show. Our preparation is second to none, really. I mean, this is high.
I literally can't.
You're really making Rob feel, because me and you, Och, did a lot to put this broadcast together, right?
Yeah, of course. I had to buy Gabriella curls. Well,
man, I really wanted to see. But anyway, so I can download this game on my computer, right?
Yes, you should be able to.
Oh, your microphone is still screwed up.
God damn it. Hang on. Fucking shit.
To those still watching it straight up, go to our old episodes that are on Johnny Petraglia's page, I think, or maybe Facebook.
Can you guys hear me now?
Too.
Yeah. Meanwhile, last night I had like 5 or 6 people behind my pair watching us bowl last night that I've never seen before. Couple girls with, I guess, their boyfriends, brothers, or whatever it was. And like through the middle of the second game, when I started striking after the 160, I'd never seen them before. So I said, "Come on, man, give me a fist pump me up a little bit here." And he goes, "Well, I hope this helps because we listen to your show. We're here because we know about your show." So I actually had people come and watch me bowl last night that are listeners to the show.
Our first groupies, and are they here on YouTube anywhere? Now they're going to be like,
not in the private stream, Rad Rob.
Oh my God! Wait a second, Ted. How did that get up there?
That's the YouTube comment.
It's literally the only thing that's up there.
I know, but how did you do that?
This is a cluster. I clicked on it. That's what I do every week.
Oh.
Anyway, yeah, Johnny, I'll get you a list of those balls here. Okay. How are you doing in your league events, Johnny?
Like I said, my Tuesday team is second to none. It's just a matter of. Honestly, we're the kind of team that it's a matter of how much we're going to win by each week. We have a very, very good team. And for instance, like I said, even when one of us struggles, like I struggled last night, our team didn't struggle. So
is there no cap? Like there's no
865, 865 entering.
What did it used to be at the old cleaners? Like 820 maybe or something like that?
For 3 guys?
4.
For 4? No, it couldn't have been 820 for cleaners. Could it?
I mean, I'm going back to like 05, 06 maybe-ish.
Yeah, I actually don't know. But
well, I should know that. No,
that league cap, our league cap is 865, and that's based off entering average from the previous season. So the 4 of us happened to squeak in at 860. Yeah, well.
Okay. That's terrible.
Now granted, South Point's a little bit different house shot than a lot of house shots. It plays more like a sport pattern, even though it's still very easy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but it's not like you don't have that mega flood in the middle. Like when I get on social media and I'm on Facebook and I'm looking at everybody from back east and the scores that they're shooting, it just doesn't happen like that out here. Like it is impossible for the ball to go through the nose on the East Coast if you curve it. Like the ball just backs up.
Exactly.
Forever.
You have to miss 12 boards left of your target in order to hit the beak.
Out here, you touch it a little bit early, or you go around the spot a little bit too much rather than up it, or to it, like you would on a sport pattern, closing the angles. You don't get rewarded for that kind of stuff.
Really?
So you don't see mediocre bowlers out here shooting 830, 840 every week. 870 nowadays is like fucking normal.
God. I mean, I'm known for touching it early every once in a while too. So
me too.
It's just a pet peeve. I mean, it's a habit really, but old habits die hard.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Unintended.
So,
and then my Monday league, I will be perfectly honest. We bowl 7 weeks on Cheetah, and then we switch to Scorpion for the last 7 or the last 8 weeks of this 15 scratch singles league. And I'm dead in the water. And it's unfortunate that I know that only 3 weeks in.
Really?
The development of the Cheetah pattern, the way it does open up now compared to what I'm used to with old Cheetah, you had to be on the gutter. The one, right? The 1 or the 2, and you'd throw some gutter balls too. I remember seeing a lot sometimes. Yes. But nowadays there's like hold that builds up around like 10, 11, 12, 9.
Really?
And yeah, so after the first 4 frames that it takes for the lanes to transition, the righties start to whack them and they can play them from multiple angles. On the left side of the lane, you never get the hold that develops in the area that they do. And unless you are on top of the gutter, and I mean precise shot making, like I'm averaging 201 in my sport league. I've only bowled 2 of the 4 weeks because I didn't want to go the other 2 weeks. I tried to get a righty to sub for me because get me some points, right? But I'm averaging 201 and I haven't bowled 230 or 170 in that league. I mean, and I've tried 5 different bowling balls in the 2 times I've been there. different zones. It's very frustrating to know that my maximum ability and potential is never going to be good enough to win in that league. And then when we convert over to Scorpion, which is way easier and a lot more oil, a lot more length on the pattern, then the righties are really going to start whacking them. And I'm like one of six lefties in the entire league. So that I don't ever follow a lefty. I'm never near a lefty. So it's become a little frustrating on my Monday league. And then I've picked up a couple Thursday leagues just to go out and like stay bowling ready. So I've been subbing on Thursday nights and, somewhere in the mid 220s there, but everything's okay. My weight training has been like good and bad lately. I used to go 6 days a week. Now some weeks I go 3, some weeks I go 7, some weeks I go 4. But no matter how the week goes, I'm still in there every single chance that I can. So at least the body feels moderately healthy.
Oh, that's good. That is really
good. Remember, you were not bowling ever again, and then a week later you were like, I'm on 5 leagues.
Yeah, it
wasn't like a mindset was really, not that bowling's ever out of your system, but for you, but it wasn't like you were gearing up for the season and had your balls polished in the Luster King or anything like that.
I said this on a past show, and my friend Sunny from back in Pennsylvania actually messaged me about it the other day because she was watching one of our old shows, and she said that the greatest things in my life have come from the people I've met through bowling, and everything I've experienced in life comes through bowling. So what that reminded me of just now was I always migrate back to the bowling alley because I'm a people person and I have friends in the bowling alley. In other words, if I'm not in a bowling alley, my brain doesn't really know what to do. It doesn't know who to communicate with. It doesn't know who to talk to. It doesn't know what to go out and do and have fun and stay somewhat athletic.
Basically. Right. It's like putting a charger back, your phone back on your charger. That's your home base when you get
exactly. So like when I go to the gym for me, and so does everybody else most of the time, at least the times I go. But most people that are in a gym, they put headphones in. They're in there with a very specific plan of what they need to accomplish. They're in there in an hour and they're out of there in an hour and that's it. It's not like, hey, guys, we lifted great today. Let's go eat together and then let's go hit golf balls at the range. Like it doesn't happen in the gym. So for me, my balance of like being around other human beings has always been in the bowling world because all of them, the closest people and friends, and obviously through dad also, it all comes from there. So if I don't have bowling, I go a little stir crazy in my brain. I could think of things to go do, but I don't necessarily want to do any of them, It's a double-edged sword for me.
Should have rode those dirt bikes when they were in the garage for a while, man.
No, they're still here. No, I think
I gotta get out there.
Dude, Derica got she's sponsored by Harley Davidson now, as well as Icon and Unknown.
Oh, that's pretty awesome.
Stars. She's doing shows, she's doing appearances, she just did something at this big racing place. I forgot the name. Sturgis?
Yeah. Sturgis, South Dakota.
Sturgis. Yeah.
It's the biggest bike rally.
The biggest rally ever.
I can't really remember.
100-pound kid soaking wet, and she's the second coming of her sport. But every day I go out to the garage, there's another bike in there. Just another one.
Well, any extras, and I'll take them. Just like the bowling balls I used to get. I'll take the.
I'll plant the seed for you.
Motorcycles.
So, what are you throwing right now, Johnny? What's your arsenal look like?
Right now, I've got my primary bag is a purple hammer. I haven't drilled any of the new ones yet. I still have a 2019. I think it's time to drill some of the newer urethanes so I can get it to be a little bit more chuggy. Mine is currently a little too floaty through the front part of the lane, and I
hate it when it's floaty.
Well, first of all, anybody who's listening that doesn't know bowling, the arsenal in his bag is his purple hammer, is what was said, and
which is what Ocho has too.
Yeah.
Which I guess when it hits the water, that's what happens. But like this is
what I mean is it's so oil absorbed from all the games that I have on it that it clears the front part of the lane very, very easily, almost like a resin ball.
Can you cook that out of it? Like I've heard that. Like
yeah, you can. You could use either a detoxing machine or a rejuvenator that would basically sweat the oil out of the cover. But you got to remember the purple hammer is a 2-piece bowling ball, so that oil is all the way down in that cover.
It's that porous, huh? Like that'll.
Yeah. But that's one ball. I've got my plastic ball, obviously, and then my resin bowling balls that I've been carrying around lately are a Hammer Ocean Vibe, which is a lower end pearl, but for me hooks more than anything I have. And I have a Track Stealth, which is a symmetrical solid, and it's a jet black bowling ball, which anybody that's a bowler knows if a bowling ball is black, it's good.
Absolutely.
And then Brunswick just sent me the new Defender Hybrid, which with the H4KK cover stock, which is supposedly some new cover stock that makes the colors a little bit more vibrant and makes them pop a little bit more. It's a real pretty ball. It's purple and pink. And I'm most likely going to drill that. And the ball that I just recommended for our YouTube comment, I'm going to drill another Black Widow Ghost simply because I really like that asymmetrical pearl. And then I'll have the Defender Hybrid. And then that's about really all I've got primary in my bag right now.
Which is funny because the Widow Pearl is not in the PBA game. There's a Black Widow ball. I'm gonna say it's not the Ghost. The Ghost isn't in. I don't remember which one it is. I really think you're right. I think they're using like last year's equipment.
Well, just what you just showed me in Tier 1. They had the Venom Panic sitting there next to the house ball. Right. I saw on the lower level there, it looked like a Game Breaker 2, an original Game Breaker 2.
Yeah.
You said you have a Quantum Bias Pearl, a Hero.
I have a Mastermind Intellect, and I have a Hammer Gauntlet.
Oh my God. See, like these are balls from, geez, dude, Hammer Gauntlet, Mastermind Intellect. I was still using my thumb, and that was probably like 7 years ago in the shop. The Mastermind line has been discontinued for longer than the Bias.
Are we sure this game isn't like from?
Are you sure it's 2023?
Yeah,
but here's the thing, though, Oj.
I mean, yeah, that's what it says in the game.
But then if you get better, that's how you get the newer balls. Maybe is that what it is?
Maybe. And here's the thing, because he was just in the clip that Rad Rob just showed us. He was bowling Pete Weber, and I'm pretty sure Pete Weber's throwing a Dark Code. Now that Storm Dark Code is a current line ball. It's still.
Oh, so they do have them for.
It's a year old, or it's 8 months, 9 months old, but it's still in their current product line.
Right.
That's strange.
So it's weird what they chose. And like I said, I'll get you a complete list when we get off the air, and we can talk more about it next week. But because there's like, I think it was 4 or 5 tiers of balls. It also has, well, what's funny is it has the PBA League balls too, like the team, like the Hitmen, spare ball, whatever like that. It has every single team, and that's recent, right? That was this year.
Yeah, I mean, well, they've had again.
Or have they had that league for the last few years?
Oh God, they've had the league for a while.
Okay, never mind. Then that probably doesn't hold any water then. Yeah, no, I'll definitely get you a list. The game has been out. It's weird. It's been out for a few years, and they just keep updating it every year.
So you just download the newer version, basically? Like that's how it works?
Pretty much. So I don't know. I haven't played years past versions, so I don't know what changed or what they added to it or anything like that. So it's possible they just kept the same balls that were in the game and maybe added more to them.
Could be. And like you said, if you're not at the top tier yet, we don't actually know what balls are at the top tier.
True.
It could very well be that tier 1, 2, and 3 are balls that are 7 to 10 years old or 5 to 7 years old.
And I tried to Google a list of bowling balls, and literally nobody has a post on it. So I couldn't even do that to read them off to you. So in any event,
that's okay. I'm going to wind up downloading the game simply because I guess my other question about the game is, do you start a tournament bowling in the arena finals against an opponent, or do you actually have to bowl qualifying games?
You have to bowl qualifying and then match play and then step ladder if you make it that far. Top 8 make it to match play. And then obviously the top 5 make it to the show. So
that's pretty cool.
And you do start off with the regional tournament, and that's several rounds of qualifying. Actually, typically they shorten the regular qualifying. It's 3 games just to keep the game moving, so the regular player doesn't get bored. But the first regional tournament, you can pick which region you want to bowl out of, and I think there's 3 or 4 rounds of qualifying on that one. And then you go to match play, and then you go to the step ladder. So it's cool. I don't know. I like it. It's better than what's out right now, or any other game that they've released recently, which they haven't really been releasing a lot of bowling games in the last 5-10 years. So it's kind of hard to pick from. So
that clip you showed us. Hi, Rosie. Thanks for there's one of my teammates. That's my buddy. That's my current anchor, averaging 247.
He's on YouTube, so thanks for joining us there. Facebook is fucked right now, so I hope
well, at least what we'll do when the show's over is I'll at least share it on my page and say, guys, sorry about technical difficulties, but you can watch this.
And I don't know if something changed, because when I create it through StreamYard, just like I do every single week, it's linked to your Facebook account. But for whatever reason, this week it put it into the Facebook events page as a live video, and I could not change the privacy settings. I even went through all of your Facebook settings and tried to fix that. Could not change it to public, or it just set as private, invite only. And I don't know how to change that, and fucking hate Facebook to begin with. But I will try to work on it the next week. But in any event, Rosie, good to have you here, brother. I know Emil sent me a Facebook request today, so he hopefully is watching as well on YouTube. If you guys are watching on YouTube, all 7 of you,
hey.
All 7 are on YouTube. Feel free to comment. Feel free to chime in if you can, and say hey to us. We love talking to our listeners and viewers. But so, are you primarily a urethane guy? Like, do you not like throwing resin anymore because of whatever patterns you have there at South Point or wherever else you bowl?
I am polar opposite of most people on this planet. Like, in other words, when I was a kid, and everybody wanted the latest and greatest bowling balls, I went to JBT's with my dad's rubber LT 48 because I could strike with it. What's up, Nicole Neff? I liked throwing urethane until everybody and their mother started throwing urethane. Gotcha. I threw plastic for a year and a half straight in league. Like, basically said, even though I'm a Brunswick staffer, I can't average 235 with anything but my indigo T-zone. So that's what I'm going to throw.
Okay.
What happens nowadays is I'm stuck, because when I bowl on anything sport related, we've talked about the younger generation, these kids come with urethane and charcoal urethane, 180, 360 grit, and they destroy oil patterns before the tournaments or the league sessions even start. So you're forced to alter the way you bowl when you're bowling on sport conditions and tournaments like that, simply because of the way the lanes break down now. And contrary to that, I prefer throwing resin in league simply because it's a better way to showcase new bowling balls and products from the company that sponsors me, which is Brunswick. And typically for me, urethane on a house shot after a game, urethane fucks me up. It fucks my lineup. Like, I'll bowl 260 the first game, and then the second game I go bucket, fast 8, and I'm like, shit, I just went highlight, and then I hit the pocket and I leave a really wimpy 7-pin.
Yeah.
It's like it's over. It did its job for the one game in league, but now all it's done is remove head oil, carry shit down, and now I got to figure out a way to get around it when I go to resin. So typically these days I'm against the grain again. I don't like throwing urethane unless I'm in a tournament, which 9.5 out of 10 times on my side of the lane, you must throw urethane.
So, all right, let me
when you say real quick, so you said it pushes the oil, or it absorbs the oil. So now the heads are dry.
Right. Urethane will take the oil off the front part of the lane, and it'll grab some of it in the ball.
So then you got to get something that goes hard through the heads.
That still has enough juice to change direction.
To the pocket, or else you'll be throwing at the 7-pin the whole night, basically.
Basically, yeah. So that's the dilemma. So I typically don't even bring urethane to league anymore, just to avoid that possibility. I'd rather bowl 150 the first game and then make a move with the 2 or 3 resin balls I brought, then bowl 250 the first game and then bowl 170, because now I'm game and a half in with my buddies and I can't even figure out a way to hit the pocket. Last night was polar opposite. Last night I actually needed urethane the first game in league because we were on one of the worst topography graph pairs in South Point, which is 5 and 6. And lane 6 is just, it's always been atrocious. I mean, if you touch it on lane 6, touch it or pinch it a hair high, you're going 4 through the middle. And my entire team left 4 count or 6 count combinations last night. Blower 7-10s, what is that? 3 4 6 7s to 2 4 6 10s. I mean, it's there was just nonsense everywhere on that lane last night. So last night would have been the one night that I should have said, you know what, maybe I'll use urethane on this lane and I'll use resin on this lane. But truth be told, I don't go to league wanting to do that shit. I go to league to be happy and strike and hang out with my friends.
Right.
I don't want to be thinking about it, And then
I know we've talked about this before. Ocho, I'm sure you're going to chime in and say, what do you mean when you touch it or pinch it? Or
well, I mean, I know what he
wrong
means.
with the topography?
What's the bowling term of it?
Break all that down. We've talked about topography before, but for those that haven't heard it before, explain what that means when it goes to from lane to lane.
Me or Oach?
No, I'm
me.
Sorry,
You don't want. And I apologize if you hear a baby in the background. I thought I left her outside, so I didn't think she was going to be doing this. But
Go put her back outside.
I was taking Ocho's spot because Ocho's always like, for the stupid people here that are watching that don't know anything, tell them about it.
So that's what I do. I go, Johnny, do me a favor, because I didn't really follow what you said. Can you explain that in layman's terms? Is what Rob is saying. So
correct.
When they lay lane beds, topography tells you the true history of the top of the lane itself, the low points, the high points. So like the graph will show, let's say a perfectly flat lane on a topography graph shows completely green. If you go to a shit lane, and you can access this information anywhere, you could look at topography readings for the South Point Plaza where they host USBC Nationals.
Is this something they do? Year. They actually have tracking of it and everything? Like
every lane.
It's required, huh?
I don't know if it's required, but they allow the information to the bowlers. So like there'll be some lanes. So red will designate that there's a higher or lower section of that lane, microscopically, of course, right? It's why bowling's so like lanes 33 and 34 in the South Point Plaza are known for being like the worst lanes in the world because they're covered in red over the green. There's so many highs and low points that even with a true pattern out there, the ball itself is traveling on a different surface of synthetic.
It could be going uphill at one point, really.
Exactly. And then you go to places like the Kegel Training Center where everything is pristine. We've talked about the kickboards, how everybody strikes like crazy. Aside from the perfect pin setup and the kickbacks and then the walls and everything, the lanes, the topography is just, it's perfect. The building is just perfect. So on synthetic lanes, that's what I mean when I say topography. So if this bowling alley has a topography characteristics that the low end of the house curves more than the high end of the house, but 33 and 4 curves like the low side of the house, not the high side. It's all these other things that, again, this is like pinnacle level stuff. This isn't things that, these aren't things that bowlers
this isn't house bowler things have to worry about.
Not even local tournament bowlers. This is more for professionals that are traveling like Parker Bone or Pete Weber, where we're bowling the Plaza next week. Let me see my notes from last year. Oh yeah, okay, I remember lanes.
And these are guys that can throw the ball with the same rev rate and the same speed and hit the same spot 30 times in a row.
Bingo.
Without one mechanical mistake. So I guess that now you do see why they would have to know this stuff.
Totally.
So real quick, Johnny, just kind of give a layman's terms, like a Cliff Notes version of why topography changes or what causes it.
Oh, I've actually don't really know the answer to that. It's
or just use wear and tear, right?
It could be it could be wear and tear. It could be if it's on a lower or an upper level. If it's on the second level, what business is underneath it? For instance, at South Point, if the oyster bar is underneath the left side of the bowling alley, but not underneath the right, the steam coming from the left side may warp the wood or the conduit under the ball return.
Holy shit.
Or whatever previous surface was there. Right.
One of the other reasons why the Olympics, because there's so many variables out of anybody's control that can dictate a scoring pace and make the best person not win. And that's what the Olympics is supposed to be. Wow.
Right. So there's a million different things that can contribute to it.
That's crazy.
I'm trying to think of a bowling alley. Majestic Lanes in New Jersey. A lot of people enter through the side door where lane 40 or however many lanes are at Majestic. A lot of people enter the building through the side door. So in the heat, in the summer, or in the cold in the winter, those first few lanes by the door are going to constantly be hit with air coming in from people walking in that way.
Right.
So on a hot day, the second to last pair, which typically the end pairs are different anyway, because most bowling centers don't run the oil machine twice or 3 times like you're supposed to on the first pair to warm up the actual machine. But if it's 95 degrees in Majestic lanes and I'm on lanes 39 and 40, 39 and 40 is going to hook a shitload more than 11 and 12 is. And the topography itself is being, I guess, warped or changed, or the one element is being affected by that one tiny thing.
God damn, I only thought bowling balls were affected. Like if you leave them in your trunk, like Ocho and I do, and in the winter, your thumbs fucking shrink, and in the summer they swell. I didn't even think about the fact that air would change something on a lane. Growing up at Bradley Bowl, we had 3 entrances, one on 1 and 2, one on 43 and 44, and one in the middle on the TV pair, 27 and 28.
Do bowling alley French fries do anything?
To the lanes. What's that, John?
Do bowling alley French fries affect the lane topography? Or
the snack bar was around lane 1920, so yeah, maybe.
That's what Howell Lanes was known for, like in the 80s. It was known for their French fries. That was
which, by the way, how long is Howell Lanes going to continue to stay open without any place to get anything to eat or drink?
They don't have a snack bar or anything there?
They had a snack bar there, and then they sold it out to this Dave's Hot Dogs.
It was a hot dog joint, and that just went out. And you could order online and everything, and they had a good setup.
But the hot dog guy, Dave's Hot Dogs, it's good, but he's like a stand hot dog guy.
Yeah.
So what I heard was when he was in there, and like people want, like, for instance, there's 30 seniors from my mom and dad's community that go bowl like pot games on Saturday or Sunday mornings at 8 a.m. And all they want is like coffee, bagels, and donuts and some eggs. Yeah. And Dave's hot dog place is like, I make hot dogs.
Dog with coleslaw on it.
Yeah. But I don't think that guy expected the amount of business that he was going to get there. But I still don't understand how they continue to operate in that facility and you can't even buy food. Now, granted, Howell Lanes is home. It'll always be a home to me, but how can you put a sign on the door that says no outside food or beverages permitted when the only beverages you offer are when the front desk person has enough time to go to the bar to get you a soda? Or like, what if you don't have cash for the vending machine? What if you need a fucking bag of chips or something? Like, I don't know what they're doing in there right now. It's insane to me that that's like something that just seems to be overlooked right now.
Works for me.
Especially now with rev rates in there. They're gonna have a whole VIP lounge, and like,
that's true. They're not going there to pound Yingling and Fireball. So
they have parties in there, and they have to outsource the pizza places to go get it, and like they have to keep running back and forth to the bar to get pitchers of water. I don't know that that's their
intention to not have it, but I don't know what else is going to go in there.
So they can go out and get food, but you can't. That's a little
right.
Fucked.
That's like, in other words, at least until our dining facility opens up, feel free to bring in a piece of pizza.
Yeah. Well, that's really unfortunate because, I mean, you always think of bowling alleys and snack bars. They go hand in hand. Our local one here in Smyrna, Tennessee, one of the few lanes that's actually still a bowling center, not a fucking entertainment arena, has a huge snack bar. I mean, pizza, chicken tenders, Philly cheesesteaks, you name it. I mean, they got it. With soda fountains and all that too. I remember Vernon Lanes in Vernon, Connecticut, didn't have a bar, so they said BYOB. So everyone that bowled in leagues brought in their own coolers, and everybody got fucked up. So that was fun because you didn't have to pay, bar prices.
Dude, I mean, how great is that? You spend $6 instead of 30.
Yeah. Well, then you should go join a league in Tom's River, Oach. You should go bowl and play drum. That's BYOB.
No, that's not. It's
He's a responsible dad now. He can't do that.
Well, that too. I should have said that, but no, Howell Lanes is home.
Yeah, but I mean, then you got Bradley Bowl, who had a huge bar, AJ's Lounge, really, really nice too. But things change. That's now like a freaking 3-lane entertainment center, which still disgusts me, considering that it used to be a tour stop back in the day. But we have talked about this before, how bowling has changed and how Bolero has kind of changed the model, of bowling centers. And we talked about if bowling will make a comeback. And when we talked to Brianna Clemmer, she said, there's a lot of kids still in the system, especially, young girls that look up to her and other female pros. So there still is a good crop of junior bowlers and, collegiate bowlers as well. So I'm hoping, if the economy ever kind of levels out again, maybe you'll have some bowlers that, want to own their own lanes or, just, and I don't even know what it would take to build your own lanes now, like how many millions and millions that would cost. But it would be nice if we ever saw any independent operators just start, their own bowling centers again. Do you think that could ever happen, Johnny?
No.
Yeah.
It's all corporate now. That's the problem.
It's scary to say, and not to mention, with every day that passes, bowling dies a little bit more.
There he is.
What's up there? Ocho!
The bear.
What's up,
he
bear?
knows.
What I'm saying is everybody keeps making social media posts. Where have all the bowling alleys gone? This bowling alley is closing. This bowling alley is closing. People don't bowl anymore, guys. They don't. Younger kids, I could tell you the best kid bowlers in the world right now because there's only a certain amount of them that actually still bowl. Nobody is going bowling 5 times a week, practicing 5 games a day, and spending, I don't know, how much is a game now? $8, $7?
So that's the thing. I want to know what happened to the rainy Saturday afternoon family that used to, the parents and the 2 kids, the 3 kids, and they'd go to the bowling alley because that was
phones.
And it was a very well. That's true, but I mean,
my daughter loves the ball. We take her out and she puts the ball in a little fucking ramp and she pushes it down and. She has a great time.
As a kid, my mother used to bring me there. I'd only get to go once a year because we're poor, but that's besides the point. We'd go once a year on my birthday, and it was like so jacked up to go, and I was ecstatic when I could hold a bowling ball, and it was a cool thing just to throw it down the lane. That's all. I didn't know where it was going. I didn't care where it was going.
Oh, come on, you averaged 205 back then.
This brings a great point with this. Your family used to take you bowling once a year, right? Because I'm only saying this because you said it, because you said you grew up poor.
Frugal, now, I should say, but yeah, now they priced it out too because it wasn't expensive.
Nowadays, there's two kinds of people in the world right now. There are the techies and the people who are looking into the future, the people with the brains, not Elon Musk's brain, but there's people that are into cryptocurrency. There's people that are into NFTs. There's people that are into doing shit online, posting calming, soothing voices and sounds to fall asleep on YouTube and making millions of dollars and shit like that.
No shit.
Those opening toys or something.
Yeah.
Those people want nothing to do with athletics whatsoever.
True.
People in general nowadays, I mean, you and I are weightlifters. It's frowned upon to get bigger these days because
dad bods are in now.
Society wants you to either look like a woman or like just a mess. That's what they crave right now. And the other group of people, the people that aren't involved in NFTs, crypto, or doing higher dollar things like that, those are your average working Joes.
Yeah.
So now not only do you have the social media impact, do you have that where you have like 4-year-olds that are on iPads, which call me crazy. I think that's fucking insane. Sorry, Rob, if your little one's got one.
No, it's we tried to stray away from it, but it's
unless they're learning something from it, but it's
the point. Yeah, sorry,
it's a babysitter.
The point is,
yes,
the families, the working families that even go bowling, you can't take your kid and your family bowling once a week now. You either have to go once a week and rent shoes for all 4 of you, which is $20. We've spoken this on past shows, Rob. It's the amount of money it costs. Like, we used to bitch about how much movie theater tickets cost, but if we really wanted to go see a movie, you would spend the money to go see the movie. You'd pay for the $20 jug of popcorn, the $10 bunch of crunch, and the fucking soda in the Galaxy Theater and kick your legs up. And you know what? I saw the movie. I spent $80 today, or I spent $120 today on me and my girl, and we went to the movies today. But we saw the movie. I don't have to go see it again. If you go bowling on a Monday and you bowl 5 games and you average 220, you're like, man, I think I'm pretty good at this. You have to keep practicing if you want to have a chance to compete at any pinnacle level. You're not going to go spend $50 a day to practice. You need some kind of connection. All of those elements, there's no way an individual proprietor can open up a new bowling facility right now and have it hopefully be successful. Even if it is in a perfect spot, if you put it someplace perfect, I just don't see there ever being a time that it goes back to the golden age.
I get it. But I mean, look, things are cyclical. I mean, society and culture does change. We saw it in the late 90s, and, we saw it here recently in the last 5-6 years. I mean, things do come around again.
Yeah,
What's old is new
high-waisted
again,
jeans or something, but like a giant
but like
bowling
Johnny
alley
said
that's
with
a
the
building.
nerds, though, like the minutia that Johnny talked about with topography, and we got rev rates, and fucking how many milliliters of fucking oil are on this. Like the nerds love that shit, and being a nerd is fucking cool again, right? So if you can get enough nerds to be bowlers, then maybe you could see a renewal, a revival.
And those who saw the debate, that was my take, that they started off as thinking they were athletes, but they were nerds to begin with. So that's why they had
right.
Totally.
But Johnny, let me. I just looked up the pricing for the bowling alley. That's about 15 miles away from me. It's in Smyrna, Tennessee. They break down each 24-hour period into day, evening, and primetime rates. Shoes or adults are $4, kids $3. So if you got a family of 4, I mean, just do the math.
And that's reasonable.
Yeah.
I mean, you're in Tennessee. That's actually reasonable. Keep going.
Daytime, Monday through Friday from midnight until 5 p.m. is a great time to come enjoy inexpensive bowling, off-peak bowling rates, blah, blah, blah. Adults, $3 a game. 2 games
From
plus
what
shoes.
time to what time?
Did you say midnight?
Yeah, they're open 24 hours.
From midnight to 5 a.m.?
Yeah, so let's
5
take my
p.m.
kids
Midnight to 5 p.m. Adults $3 a game. 2 games and shoes are $10, or 3 games and shoes are $12. So they do have kind of
they're doing package deals and whatnot.
bundles, right? Yeah. Kids $250 a game. 2 games and shoes $7. 3 games and shoes $8. Evening time after 5 p.m. and weekend days from 2 a.m. to 5 p.m. They said they're super busy with leagues, friends and fun activity. They bump it up to $4 a game for adults, $3 a game for kids. Prime time, what they consider on Friday, Saturday nights after 5, it's $5 a game for adults and $4 a game for kids. So again, family of 4 bowling on a Friday night for what they consider prime time. You're looking at, if you bowl 3 games, 16 times 3 is Ocho knows
48.
And then 2 adults, let's just say $5 a game for 3 games. It's what, $30. So you're looking at $70-$80 with food, probably 90. I mean, it doesn't seem
maybe
like
not
a lot.
food, because the 2 games is only probably an hour,
right?
And that is hands down about the cheapest I have heard or seen.
But it's still a lot if you really
daytime.
figure it in.
It's not a night out either. It's actually like
Correct.
daytime. Now you got to fill in the next 8 hours of the day.
So with games, shoes, and food for a family of 4 or so, I mean, you're paying $100. I mean, that's not everybody can afford that, So while that may be on the cheap end,
especially nowadays.
Exactly. I mean, back when I was a kid, it was $1.50, $1.25 a game, whatever.
Well, the dollar stretched a lot longer then too. I mean, like you look at inflation, like look at the average household in 1980. It was the mean was 25,000 and a house was 80,000.
Yeah.
And now the average mean is probably 56 or 60,000, and houses are 400 grand. So that ratio doesn't fly by my terms.
And there's 14 leagues that they show posted on their website, this house, and they have various tournaments, although I don't see any on the schedule for this year. So at least there's some league activity that can, get out and have fun. Like Ocho bowls on Thursday nights. Your dad, Johnny, I don't know if he still bowls league, but I mean,
he does.
At least you have to think at least almost one state has one bowling center, right? They're not all like Dave and Buster's and shit like that. So
no, I mean New Jersey, but just talking about
New Jersey has quite a few, right? Still,
just within that 20-mile radius, you have Howell Lanes, you have Ocean Lanes, you have Playdrum, you've got Bradley Beach. I mean, Carolier is gone, but it was there. You still have Majestic Lanes up Route 9. That's one thing that I would say. If you were going to build a bowling alley, you should build a bowling alley somewhere between Majestic Lanes and Howell Lanes, because that's about, what is it, 20 some odd miles?
But probably a little less as the crow flies. I mean, probably maybe 15-ish, but
it could probably like someplace like where, say, Mid-State Lanes used to be in the East Brunswick area, or Hill Lanes.
Hill Lanes was in Amboy, right? Perth Amboy, or
yeah. I feel like that's one place that a bowling alley could do well in New Jersey, and I'm sure there's a lot of other places that can do the same. But again, it all boils down to, excuse me, it all boils down to the fact that we are in a changing world, and the world is not the way that it used to be, and it's certainly not going to be the way that it used to be ever the fuck again. True. And that's very upsetting to me. But it is kind of what it is.
And do you think a center could do well maybe in a rural area in the middle of nowhere when there's literally nothing else to do but go to the bar or, go fuck a pig? So, I mean, do you think something like that could work in a country area?
Oach said it perfectly on the last show. He said he stumbled into a bar one day and they had bowling lanes. Now, whether that was a joke or not, think about that, though.
Right.
If I was going to build a bowling alley, I would build the most wonderful bar with the greatest kitchen, with the most extravagant, awesome food, and I would also sell chicken fingers and hot dogs on my menu. I would probably have 18 to 20 lanes, if that, and I would run leagues and I would have open bowling, but my primary business would be the eatery. Yeah. I bowled in a bowling alley when I was going to school in Morehead State in Sterling, Kentucky, called Sterling Lanes or Mount Sterling Lanes. First off, it was a dry county, so no booze in the entire place, which was, during that time we were in college, we would drive an hour to go bowl league and we would bring our own booze at that point. Obviously we were all in college, but what I would do is I feel the exact same way, Emil. I feel the exact same way.
Yep. Stay home, Netflix and chill.
But in Mount Sterling was a 16-lane bowling alley and a movie theater connected.
Yeah.
8-screen movie theater, beautiful 16-lane bowling alley. It had nothing else. There was no snack bar. The only place you could buy food was if you went into the movie theater and got food in there. But I thought that was a pretty unique idea. Creating hybrid places where there's multiple things to do,
which they've done, Johnny.
That's like the Dave and Buster's or something like that too.
But they only put like 4 lanes in or 6 lanes in their VIP.
And there's disco balls and lounge chairs and
they've taken that and gone to the extreme instead of what you were saying, like have a concept place with the bar and lanes or with the movie theater and lanes, whatever like that. But they do laser tag, they do arcades, they do fucking, mini golf, whatever. It's just it's fucking concept on steroids. But I do like your idea though, like center yourself around the bar and then put some really cool fucking bowling lanes in. It's the gas station concept. Texaco isn't making shit on the gas. They're making it all in concessions and everything else inside the mini mart.
Exactly.
That's why you see guys like Buc-ee's or QT or these huge gas stations that have I don't know if you guys ever seen or heard of Buc-ee's, but they're based on a
BUC-EES.
Yes, they're huge.
It's huge.
Like a fucking shop. It's like a grocery store.
I never heard of them, but I know I had a QT like right down the road from my house, and it was almost like grocery shopping.
Yes, right. Absolutely right.
I could get cappuccinos, I could get frozen burrito. I mean, but I could even you could get booze. You could get it was literally a Walgreens with gas and
pretty much. And that's where they make their money. They don't make shit on gas. They barely mark it up if they do at all. They make it everything on the inside of the store. That's what you would do with bowling. Have a concept.
But then would the lane suck, or would the equip? You know what I'm saying? Would the pin setters suck? You'd have to obviously. I mean, my point is, unless you got a empty wallet of a deep pockets, then you don't have to worry about it. But because running a restaurant now, if you have so many menu items, well, what's going to go bad? What stays long in the freezer? You know what I mean? So.
No, I get it.
And then you're like, well, I'm going to have to focus on the restaurant. So
you would need a management team. Like you would literally need, people that know how to do, food service and all that. And you would literally need somebody that knows how to run bowling lanes. You would need mechanics and you could. You would need mechanics. You need front desk help and all that. So it would take a lot of money and it would take a lot of people that you would have to hire to run something like that. But I can see where that would work, make this the cool place to hang out, especially if there's not much else around, in a rural area. So
the other thing I've thought about just for shits and giggles, again, I have all these crazy thoughts, but I would like to put a duck pin bowling alley or a candle pin bowling alley in Vegas.
Yeah.
First off, people don't even fucking know what that is out here. They don't even know what it is.
That's like a Northeast thing for sure.
That's at least another
I thought
something.
It was like a Massachusetts thing only or a Connecticut thing. It ain't anywhere but
it's
there.
Rhode Island.
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah.
But like that's something that, hey, you know, we have a 2-year-old. Now they can throw a skee ball down a bowling lane virtually.
Literally, it's standing on the skee ball table, whatever it is. Yeah, you're right.
And it's a sport that no matter what oil condition they put out, you're only going to average the best bowlers in the world in duck pin average 130. That's
oil on those lanes.
You have to put some kind of substance on the lane to protect the lane surface, and most duck and candle pin, Baltimore definitely has duck pins. Danny Wiseman, one of the best duck pin bowlers ever. They have to put some kind of conditioner to protect the wood, because most duck pin lanes are wood; they're not synthetic.
And do they use skee balls also? Do they use the same ball that a candle pin bowling alley does?
Yeah, it's like a musket.
It's the same they're if they're not the exact same size, they're very, very close. But the lane is the same length as a regular lane.
Yep.
I went candle pin bowling once, and a league showed up like as we were doing it, and like these dudes had
their bags with like
candle
two
pin
little
bowling balls.
in it.
They look like
a shot put.
a six ball on a pool table.
Or,
They were all the same color, and
well, you got to remember, you get 3 shots per frame if you don't make the spare. So
and you can use Deadwood too.
In both or just candle pin?
Yeah, in duck and candle.
But candle pin, you can use the Deadwood, which is pretty fucking cool.
There's like
20 pins, whatever fuck it is. There's a lot of, I don't know how many there are, but there's
only 10.
Are you sure?
There's only 10, but
go
the Deadwood...
on YouTube and watch what they do. They literally fire it underhand, and they want Deadwood. Like really legit.
You need the trash because the pins are so thin. You could take 1 pin out of a candle pin rack. It's hard to take 1 pin out of a duck pin rack.
True.
But yeah, candle pins, the trash stays on the deck. But going back to the reason why they have 3 bowling balls,
bowling alley, really.
They have 3 bowling balls because they don't want to wait for the ball to come back. It doesn't matter what ball they're throwing.
Oh, right.
There is no resetting of the pins. It's just throw the ball, throw the ball.
So they're calibrated to be all the same at least, so that's good.
There's no asymmetrical or 3-piece fucking core.
Like, what am I going to throw? Oh, spare ball. All right, here we go.
You know what Danny Wiseman told me a while back that he did do just for shits and giggles?
Throw his real bowling ball?
He drilled a 1/2-inch drill bit into the side of one of his duck pin balls, and he filled it with fish weights. On one side, and then he plugged it so he knew where the heavier part of the ball was. Now, granted, it doesn't really matter because the ideally in duck and especially in candle, the goal is to throw it as hard as humanly possible.
Yes,
that's with no loft. That's what those guys do. But it was interesting hearing Danny's story, telling me about how much he could make his ball hook once he added the weight on the side of it.
That's awesome. I wonder if there's any videos like that on YouTube of him, because I would love to see him throw.
Just type in candle pin bowling or duck pin bowling. Matter of fact, can you pull up a clip?
Sure.
Just go to YouTube and type in
Ocho at the farm.
Type in best break candle pin bowling.
Break.
And let me see a picture of it before you click it so I can make sure we have the right one. And then I also want you to show worst break, and then I think we can wrap up this completely abridged live version of Straight Up 5 with me.
I see luckiest break you'll ever see in candle pin bowling.
Play that one first.
All right, let me be easier if I just download it.
Have you seen this?
This will be about 30 minutes. I don't know. I doubt it. I mean, I haven't really been surfing the YouTube candle pin.
Oh, come on, Alex. What the hell?
What did I do now?
You should be watching this stuff, man. You're missing so much of your life, aren't you? Once I go down the YouTube rabbit hole, it's over. Like it literally.
That's what I'm saying. But it hasn't been candle pin or duck pin. Like I kind of, All
right, downloading
looking
now.
At really fun things like fly fishing and picking out socks
and boobs.
Exciting.
Those both sound fun.
Time lapses of paint drying.
All right.
Extremely fun.
All right, luckiest break. I'm loading it up right now.
Yeah, play that shit.
Play that.
Life is getting out of control. The
whole world is out to get
you. You sound exactly like him. Holy shit.
He literally does. No, he literally does. Here we go.
Choice by Paul, and the result is another mark.
That didn't look so lucky.
Upset with that leave. Looking down at the 4 and the 7.
This is not what I was thinking, but that's the guy.
Oh, he's going to get it.
That was pretty fucked.
That was like Walter Ray's Big Four. And I hate that I know that.
Getting up on the right side of the bed. Berger did. Watch this.
It bounced off the back, hit the 10 pin, or whatever they call it, then the 7, and then...
Wow. Game of candlepin bowling.
Nesting.
Crowd goes wild.
Crowd goes mild.
Played the wood.
Oh, the Lily.
7 and cleared the wood out like there was nothing behind
That was it. This
Is
is
that it? And then there's an unlucky one?
Yeah, the unlucky one is the same guy that just made the split.
And another nice shot.
Like if you see the one that says worst break in candlepin,
Okay.
it'll be that same guy. It's the way he misses the spare is. And then the other one I was thinking of, it's maybe the luckiest strike in candlepin bowling. I want to say, sorry if I'm offending anybody here, but he's like Filipino looking. Skinny guy, shaved head.
Worst
like
break you'll
short.
ever see in candlepin. Okay, I think I found it. Let me download that.
Everything's wrong. Nothing seems right. There's a sinking feeling inside.
All right, worst.
Oh, by the way, for our viewers, while
they're still here, if they're still
big
here.
shout out.
By the
to
way,
Emil
for Emil and Nicole.
Here we go. This is it.
Ball needs 2 marks, as you have already indicated, and has to get.
Oh boy,
a lot of people there. Look at that.
His average.
Oh yeah.
Right on the nose. 123.
How fast do you think they would throw it, Johnny?
Mid-30s.
For the spare.
What the fuck? Hold on.
That was a direct hit. That was a direct hit.
Look at his face.
He's so bad.
He had 2 pins there for Deadwood, right in front of it. That is sick. He's like, what the fuck just happened?
No.
And then
That's like a stone 8 for bowling, but like times a million.
And then to add insult to injury, yes,
And then he misses it.
Oh my!
Have you got that one, Phil?
Did he lose the tournament because of that? I really hope so.
Oh man, that's rough. What was the other
Not
one?
that I wish bad on him.
Luckiest strike in candlepin.
Okay, luckiest strike. Candlepin.
He's either Filipino, Asian. I think he's wearing like a red and blue shirt.
And you can't say red and blue on that. It's racist.
You can't. Yes, it is. Lucky Spring. I mean, the weirdest strike you'll ever see.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Like 1 million views. Goddamn, 1 million views. What the fuck are we doing here?
Right.
We should be candlepin bowling. All right, let me download that. That's crazy that dude missed that leave. That's I would quit after that. I was like, fuck it, I'm done.
Try, but you can't let go. It's when you're down that you gotta get up there. Don't let them walk all over your face. Stand up for yourself and make everything right again.
You guys are totally.
Even if some guy's trying to blackmail you and your girlfriend thinks you suck.
Hey, Chris Jones.
We will again have our.
My guess is
didn't we bowl with a guy named Chris Jones, the lefty?
Watch this shot. Yes, we did.
Audience. Whoa, they keep
they're gonna go! Oh, terrific!
That's how my strikes look in regular bowling.
Right?
Did you see what this guy's average is?
Kept going.
No,
His
it was
average
like
is 103.
Boxes
103.
3 and 4 now for LC.
That was what I weighed in high school in wrestling.
Strike challenge.
LC Ayor Jr. I think he's Colombian, maybe. Yeah, average 103. That's crazy. So he hits the
4-7.
4-7.
Whoa, they keep
they're gonna go!
They're gonna go!
Lively pin boards. What are they called? What are those things on the side again? What are they?
Dramatic development as they kept going.
Kickboards?
Kickboards. Lively kickboards. That's why.
That's a horrible shot, too. Like, he
Yeah,
should be ashamed of that shot. That's why he averages 103, because
what's
he
a
has
good
no
average
fucking...
in this? You said like 130-ish?
130, you're the best in the world.
Okay, so 110, 115 is like a really, really good fake bowler.
Yeah, they like when you watch candlepins, you're like, what's the word I'm looking for here? If you bowl a 500 series for 3 games, it's like the equivalent of shooting like a 900 in bowling.
Wow.
Oh, geez.
Like if you throw a turkey on some of the old Candlepin shows, if you throw 3 consecutive strikes, it was $1,000 bonus.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it's one of the hardest games I've ever played because there's only one way to play it, and then you have to be accurate, lucky, and understand how to play it to have any chance. And even when you do, you're only 5 pins a game than the next bet. It's like it's way closer to golf because elements don't matter like they do in 10-pin bowling.
Right.
Everybody has to do the same thing. It's like
you have to be accurate. You have to be deadly accurate. Now, I wonder if Walter Ray would be good at something like that. I wonder if he's ever talked about doing it.
He doesn't throw hard,
It's an entirely different game, and it's nothing like regular bowling. And
but he's Deadeye, right? I mean, he's a horseshoe guy.
But he rolls the
doesn't
ball.
Matter.
Horseshoes is a very slow and deliberate thing. This is kind of more violent, it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
I just figured he'd be more accurate just based on how,
But that's the thing, Rad Rob, is there's no such thing as accuracy on a strike shot in Candlepin. Yes, there is. You're trying to throw it hard enough to have the ball carom a little bit so it bounces off, but the ball's not big enough to take out 2 pins on its own. It can't do it.
Yeah.
So no matter how accurate Walter Ray is, you need to understand the game. Like, you need to know, like, okay, if I hit this side of the head pin, the trash is going to be on this side. Okay, now the trash is on the lane. It's there. And then, God forbid, you ever pick up a Candlepin ball and then go try and throw a regular 10-pin ball again. 10-pin ball feels like a fucking boat anchor.
Yeah, true.
And it feels huge in your hand. You're like, what is this, a beach ball?
Yeah. And you have to know, like, which side of the deadwood to hit, too. Like, it's just, and you're like you saw with the other dude, like, you never know which way they're going to bounce. So it is a pretty brutal sport. I'm going to watch
there a
more
duck
videos.
Pin? So. There was no duck pin highlight?
Would you like to see some duck pin?
You can. Real quick, I want to say before we get close to wrapping up here, because also I forgot my battery charger for my computer and I'm on like 20% battery.
Well, we are close to wrapping up.
Yes, I know. I'm checking
very close.
This has been a 3 Mile Island show.
Next week we have a special guest here with us. I've compiled my own list of like 10 specific questions for him, but one of my good friends and lifelong friends at that matter, from Sweep the Rack Bowling Podcast. We're going to have Brooklyn Rob Pierishad appearing on the show next week.
That's right, we are. Looking forward to that. I enjoy Sweep the Rack, and I'm looking forward to meeting him and picking his brain because, it's a great show.
Is it anything like Sweep the Leg?
I'm sure we could talk about that, too.
We could if you want. Yeah.
Then I'm in.
Nice.
Justice for Johnny.
Jesus Christ. One last video here. Most amazing duckpin bowling strikes ever.
Yay.
So these balls are bigger than the...
So I have bowled in this center.
They look like bocce balls.
Alex Aguiar.
2 tough ones in a row.
You have bowled? Okay.
I have bowled in this center before. I know. I remember like it was yesterday.
Nice shot.
Wow, nice
here.
grip
We'll see it.
Now, for viewers that don't know, duck pins are hollow, candle pins are not.
It sounded hollow.
So duck pins will go. Duck pins can go off the rail 3, 4, 5 times sometimes.
I see that. They're pretty bouncy.
Told the story any
He's
better.
showing off the rails 3, 4, and 5 times.
Jackpot! So at least you can get, you can hit more than one pin, or with the duck pin ball.
Cleaning up the ball, getting new one.
Now is that based on just how wide they are, the placement of them? Obviously.
Well, look at how fat the pins are.
They're pretty fat. Like
they're much fatter on the bottom. Candle pins are straight. These are like little pins.
Yeah.
8 frames.
Early.
Oh, come on! It was like a pinball.
The other thing that happens that also promotes the craziness of the hollow duck pins is the flat gutters. Because there's so much trash, they're actually conveyor belts that pull towards the pin. So when the pin goes into one of those flat gutters, a lot of times it'll grab extra force from it being pulled. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I gotcha. So does that count as a spare because he hit it on his third shot, or like
no.
I don't know the score?
In other words, it would go. If it was a spare, he would have just gone 9 spare. In that case, he went 9-0-1, and then he got 10 for the frame.
Okay, all right.
Want more Johnny Jr. in your life? Listen to him each and every Friday on the Straight Up 5 podcast on all of your favorite podcast apps.
Thank you, sir. What's made me really realize is I actually know a lot of shit.
No, you really do.
It's a lot of worthless stuff. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah,
I'm kidding.
damn
I'm
right.
kidding.
You're
I
damn
know
right it
worthless
is.
stuff. Rob, did you fact check my records yet?
You were 100%. You're accurate.
Do we think he has any chance to make this? The ever common 2, 3, 4, 6.
I mean, he's got 2 chances.
Get there.
Right?
Yes.
Oh, right in the middle.
Good
Wow.
shot.
Nice strike ball.
What do you think he's going to do now?
What do you think he's
I
going
hope
to
he
do?
goes right down
Johnny?
the middle again. Please. Throw it over.
Is he lefty? No.
Nope, he's already.
What is that?
Hey, down the middle.
Nice frame,
Nice.
bro. Good.
Way to get the wood.
He should get 3 points for that. I'm just saying. All right, John Gorman needs 2 strikes to win.
We have to watch this. Wait, so that guy just went 6 out in the 10th to give this guy a chance to
And the
double
dude
and
still
win.
has to get a double to freaking
And
win.
this
Oh my
guy
God.
just went spare strike. Where was he the first 6 frames? John Gorman.
Oh, that's banging. Oh,
look at that.
Whoa.
The spin on the ball took out 6 and 7.
If this guy strikes right now, and I'm Wes O'Donnell, I'm killing myself in the parking lot.
Right? Look at the spin on that
If
ball.
you look at the next video, it says news story about Wes O'Donnell jumping off of a cliff.
That's an insane strike. That really is.
I'm rooting against him. Come on, Gorman. Split.
I'm rooting for him because
No, I want Wes to win.
that was a bad choke, man.
He was accurate. Right down the middle for all 3.
Come on, John Gorman.
No.
Oh,
my
does
God.
it?
Crushed it.
He throws a 3-bagger to win the match.
God damn it! Now I'm gonna be
You
watching
almost
all
sounded
these
like
videos.
Herm
Thanks a
Edwards
lot,
when he
Johnny.
went-
I'm
You're
gonna be
welcome.
wasting a lot of my
like
time.
I said,
coming over here.
if I had an extra $1 million, I'd open a 10 or 12 lane candlepin or duckpin bowling center in Vegas.
So he
It would
needs
be
3
it would be
pins to
something
win.
brand new. It would be something different. It would
Yeah.
Would you
be
have
track
regular
summer.
bowling with it also, or just
No.
only?
Nope.
No. You want to go regular bowling? Go somewhere else.
I runs with a 4-bagger. But he didn't even need that, right? He already had the game won.
He only needs 3 pins to win.
Wes is already ready to kill himself.
He is.
He might
I
kill
don't blame
John
him. I mean,
Gorman.
that's
161. And a standing ovation for John Gorman.
He should get us. They just struck out in the 9th and 10th on duck pins. That's crazy.
He went Brooklyn on that one, too.
with the most.
That's the replay of the
Sorry, Johnny. I took the wrong one out. With the most ridiculous first strike, with the ball just spinning and taking out 2 pins. That's
that was crazy.
Thank you for bringing that into my life,
Thank
Johnny.
you.
That's awesome.
You're welcome.
Yeah, no.
Look,
I'm
just
says
letting you
no
know.
no two-handers in
No
duck pin.
two-handers at all. I have to make
great.
rigatoni and sausage for Rochelle and I, so I got to
You
wrap
son
up
of a
here
bitch.
soon.
I'm so hungry. Yeah, no, we are going to wrap it up here. So, guys, please check us out on YouTube, which you're already here. But those listening on the audio feed, we're going live every week. YouTube.com /Straight Up 5, or just search Straight Up 5 with Johnny Petraglia Jr. And subscribe, like all our videos, and we also have the video of our interview with Johnny's dad that we did last year, which was very, very fun. We got to get him back on the show one of these days. Emil, see you later, buddy. Thanks for joining
See you,
us.
Bear.
Everybody else here that's on YouTube, thank you very much. We'll try to figure out the Facebook thing for next week. If not, I guess we'll be exclusively on YouTube, so we'll have to start promoting that a lot. But anybody here watching the live video feed, if you missed anything, you want to catch up on the audio version of the show, just check out Straight Up 5 with Johnny Petraglia Jr. Where, Ocho? Where can they find it?
I don't even remember anymore because there's so many places. So many places. Under the
On
fridge, in the microwave.
All podcast platforms.
Wherever they're found.
Literally anywhere that you find them. Literally anywhere.
You know how people are stealing catalytic converters? They're replacing them with podcasts.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I
Perfect.
found
Ocho,
a
if you
podcast
dusted the
there.
blinds, behind you, I guarantee you would find a podcast.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah, well, that's fair. Johnny, what's your Twitter handle?
At JPJR07.
Ocho, what's your Twitter handle? How long are we going to keep? Like, is this going to be a forever joke?
I think it'll end when you say his Twitter handle is at the DR Ocho, and he'll say, "Wait, why didn't you ask me?" That'll be the only
and
way.
I almost did too. I almost just
You
said
got to
it without
reverse
asking.
psychology his brilliant ass.
At the DR Ocho. I am at Rad Rob Gaming. We appreciate you guys hanging out.
And T is at Gabriella.
Ocho has to get the boobs out and feed the kids, so you need to get on that, brother. And you do have the pecs for it. You really do.
Yes, sir.
But we'll see you guys next week. Thank you for joining us. for another edition of Straight at 5 with Johnny Petraglia Jr. Take care, guys.
Later.